Hi everyone, it's Jeanette, Crafty Dork, just here to share a few little projects with you. I'm going to do a bee journal. I've got bits and pieces here from Artie Mays. I've got bits and pieces on this side from Seneca Pond. I've got some of my own little bits of ephemera. I've got a whole load of stuff here, some pages that I got from Nick the Booksmith's shop, which are absolutely beautiful. So I'm not sure how it's going to end up, but this is what we're starting with. I just pulled a few little things out of my, where are we, down this way a bit, out of my stash, just to show you. These are on, they're little cards that Kaisercraft journal cards they used to put out, and I've got heaps of them, and I don't put them in my junk scrapbooking much anymore, so I use those to use for my clusters. So there's a couple of little clusters there that I did, and it's very basic. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers on a tag. Both of those. Here's another cluster, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is just a piece of cardstock. This one, all I did, or both of them actually, all I did was Tim Holtz's tiny attacher staples, wouldn't come on those. These little ones here are just pieces of cardstock that I've decorated with some paper. I actually did a piece, here's my hands, piece of paper, collaged music paper onto it. Then I just popped a little bit of lace, stamped on some calico, and then I just used these, and these will just stick onto a page. Where are we? They'll just stick onto one of the pages, either down the bottom or up the top as a little tuck spot. So we'll see how we go with those, and that's a bit bigger one and a smaller one. I've got a few different bee stamps that I've been using. This one I've just popped it onto paper. I don't know what we'll use that for, but we'll do something with it. This one hasn't got bees on it, but I used one of my sequins, and they look like bits of honeycomb. So I've just layered on this round disc. They start out like this. I got them from Kerry at Which Craft Do You Do. I'll pop the link down below. I'm going to start doing that, whether you believe me or not. And there's just a whole lot of different little layers on there, and I've just glued them all down, and they can dangle in a journal. So we'll do one of those. Like I said, I'm not sure how many we'll get done today, but we'll see how we go. First of all, I'm going to stamp and cut out a couple of bees. So I'll show you that, and I've also got here, I'm going to use cream cardstock, and I'll just show you the cardstock I use. I love the Stampin' Up, the very vanilla cardstock. It's not over thick. It doesn't actually tell you what GSM it is, but it's fairly flimsy, the vanilla one. If I want something a bit stiffer, I'll go for these packs, and these I get from Crafts Online here in Australia. I'm sure you can get them somewhere else. $2.50 and $3.50, and like I said, depending on what I do, because I do card making as well in classes. So I'm going to stamp on the Stampin' Up one, and I'm going to use VersaFine Vintage Sepia. I've got my little Stampin' Up ink block, which is filthy dirty, but we'll cope with that. Okay, so I'll just ink it up, and I always leave my stamp pad on the desk. I've taught my little granddaughter Mara, who, if all goes to plan, you would have seen her in the video prior to this. I set up the camera and while we were playing, because the first time I did it, she didn't want to talk on video. This time I didn't tell her. We just played and we did it all, and then afterwards I said to her, I've done a video on you. And so then she looked at it and I said, would you like me to put that on YouTube? And she said, oh, yes, please, Nanny. And so I've got permission from her mum to pop it on YouTube. I just won't show her face or anything. It'll just be her little hands. And we just did some collage work and had a bit of a fun play around. So I'm going to try and do that every week. And it will be called either Mara and Nan or Crafting with Grandies, perhaps, something like that. Now I've taught her when she holds the stamp to tap, 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 and then down and hold it for a little bit and then straight off. And 9 times out of 10 you'll get a perfect stamp. So she sits here, tap, 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 and down. Because before that, she'd go all over the place. So I've just taught her to tap, 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 down, hold it for a bit, and then up. And so far, it's worked really well. She's only 3, so what we'll do now, I've got my big shot here. I'm hoping that it's going to be okay. I've actually bought one of the Kazaz, they're what are they called? Crafter's Companion, their electric one, and that is fantastic. Love it. So what I'm doing is putting this, it doesn't cut exactly, but it's a bit cute. So we will just pop it on here, and I've actually got a shim underneath this one. Oops, and my pads. Oh, good. So we'll. Oh no, that's doesn't need the shim. I have got the magnetic plate, but I haven't. So we'll just pop that underneath and see how we go. I've got a feeling that did not work. Like I said, I haven't used this for a little while. I've been using the other electric one because you can put so many on the, it's an A4 plate. That's not done it again. A4 plate, and it can cut out heaps all at once. So I tend to use that more. Has got a little baby one that you can actually put in your caravan too, which I'm very tempted to get for when we go caravanning. Whether I can justify it yet is another thing. That's cut out for me, so I'll pop that over to the side there. And I have got a brush that I usually brush over this, but today, just for quickness, I'm just going to pop it out. I think I am. Yep, there we go. So it's a little bit cute. This one came off a magazine, so it was in a pack with some other stamps as well, and this little set, which is really cute. So it's got a little beehive and another little one there, but this one I like it with the die cut. So we'll use this card. Now what I'll do first is get some music paper, and let's see if this is going to, I think that will probably work. Yeah, and I'll just roughly trim. I just keep it so that it basically covers up the card. We've got a little bit coming through on the sides, but that's not too bad. Let's just trim down so it's a little bit rough. So we've got that. I'm sure you all know how to collage, but it's nice. I love going back and just seeing how other people do things. Now this looks a bit beehivey. This comes with my doTERRA order, and so I use it quite a bit. It's great. You just rip it to pieces. It's just like brown paper, and they put it to stop the bottles. They wrap it around the bottles of oils. So we'll just put a piece of that on there. What else will we put? See if we've got some actually, let's sit the bee on a flower, hey? That might be a bit nice. This is just off the side there. I've just got a box in here, and it's just got all sorts. So it's quite handy to grab stuff out of when I need it. So just quickly, oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to use some of Gail's Eco dyed paper. We've got that, or we can use a bit of this. I thought this, let's see, I like that a bit better. Not quite. Yeah. They're both nice, but that just brings a bit of colour, and I think with the bee. And now we just want a piece of lace. And that's, I've just got a bag here that's got all little bits and pieces, and I just trim off what I need. And I only want a little piece there, so we'll just pop a piece like that. So that's how it's going to be, like that, and like that. Now I'm just going to, just on the edges of this one, I could probably do it after I staple it, but we'll just do it now. There we go. So then I'm going to have that piece on there, like that. And then all of it goes onto there. Then I just get my tiny attacher, and it's all done. So that can just go into your journal down the bottom of a page. You can go with this one again. So that can just go down the bottom of a page, and then you can just tuck something behind it. So like that. And perhaps we've got, what have we got here? This is one of the, so you could put something like that, which I think will look quite nice. So that's one. That's the little clusters. Now, I know Gail, I'm pretty sure Gail did these with the staple. Someone else did as well, but I can't remember. I don't know if on this one, if you can see, I've actually glossy accents that B, and that really gives it a nice finish as well. So that's those. And the same with this little one here. That little B there is glossy accented, so that looks a bit cute. So we'll pop those. I've got those done, and they'll go into little paste here. I've got some ephemera bits already done, so they're in there ready to go. Now this little fella, like I said, I actually did a sheet of card, and I think it looks like it was manila folder, but this time, just for the ease of quickness, I'll just do it on here, but I will do just a few little bits and collage and it doesn't have to be anything too elaborate. I do like to ink a bit, so we will do a little bit of inking. Fast forward, tap the finger on the, if you don't like inking. Like the other night I was watching Sharon Tilliard, and she was saying just beware, because she loves inking around the edges as well. So now I will grab my little book. So this might be a quick one. I've got scrapbooking classes tonight, so we'll it won't be a long video. Okay, so we'll just pop a little bit there before I put that corner down. Oops. Down here, I'll just add that to the corner. And this little bit can go over there. No, it won't, because that's going to make it look. I will put that up there. I'm not worried about covering the hole up, because this is going to be the little tuck spot. Have the treble clef up. I'll go on the right way. Okay, and then we'll just put this little piece on that corner. There. So that's our little collage bit done. Then a pair of scissors that I use when I've got glue on stuff. There, we'll just trim that off. stencil. Now we need a piece of muslin, and that's what I didn't get out. Wonder if somebody's with us. There we go. I did have some of these all stamped out, but I don't know where I've popped them. Okay, so we just fingers. Just fray that a little bit, and I'll just get my little oh, he might. No, he's a bit big. I'll get my Tim Holtz little one. And that's from Tim Holtz's Stampers Anonymous, the collection of his insects. So we just put that one on there, and I'll do black this time. And just make sure that the ink that you use does actually like stamping onto material. So like I said before, dab, 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 and then that's not the bee, that's a wasp. That's alright, we'll do the wasp today. And then I just hold it there and to let it go into the muslin calico, and there we have beautiful imprint. Now with my baby wipe, I'm not a perfectionist with cleaning my stamps, but I do like to make sure they're just got that bit off them to. Okay, so then this can be attached onto there. So I get this little where are we going to put the lace? All depends on the size of the piece of lace I'll put, I suppose, doesn't it? Here we go. We've got a long bit here. I wonder if we pop it. If we put it down there, perhaps, and then we can just pop the. That'll work, won't it? So I'll use my fabric glue. And it's starting to come out already. Oh my gosh. Why is it? Oh, I've got the heater going. It's probably warming up in here a bit for it. No, not to worry. And I might pop those points poking out. So this is all scraps. Oh, except music was a piece, but it's a piece that I started using as scrap. And then that just goes on there. Now, if you wanted to, just make it a bit, you know, grunge it up a little bit. Then I just get my awl, poke the holes. And I've just got a few fingers crossed, the fingers will get it in there and work. Beauty. I leave it on this, and then I don't have to fight as much with my hands. You can just sort of push it into the foam and then just take it off. And open up the backs. And that just helps to hold that with that. I mean, you could just glue this little bit on, but I think it just looks, it's just another little element to it. Okay, and this could always be just popped out again, and you could use it as a tag if you wanted to. If this part here, if you're going to use it as a tag, I would suggest you use either some washi tape, or you put another piece of music or something over the back of it to cover that up. But that's just how I made these little collaged little embellishments, so they can be as a little tuck. You can tuck them into something, or you can pop them on the page, glue 3 sides, and then tuck something in behind. So that's those. So we've done, we're doing well. We've done the little the clusters, and we've done the little tucks. I'll just leave those there. Now we'll just do one of these little new scissors magic. I went up to the material place to get some lace the other day, and they had them on the shelf, so of course they had to come home with me. I just could not leave them there because my, like you know, my hands don't work very well, and they are just amazing, and they are so easy to use. They're brilliant. They're viscous. So I just inked this up to start with, just to take the starkness out of the white. Now Sharon Tilliard has actually got, Tilliard, I think that's how you say it, her name. She's an Aussie girl too. She's got a tutorial on how to make these. I think she dips the edges into embossing powder, and it looks really good. We could even use that on, see, that would even just sit that on there, but we'll do as I did this little one, and I just got a little teeny weeny piece of paper, and I got some muslin. Where was that little piece? Oops, a daisy. So you can put anything you like on them. Let's do, make sure I'm in camera again. Just a little bit of the edge there, because I won't tear this across, I'll just cut that because it's, so we can just have that going across there. He can sit on here. Let's save that. Like that. A little piece of lace. It's even the same lace. Oh no, it's not. Oh, it might be. Yes, it is too. So we'll do this and that, so you can still see through that. Now I've got the tiny labels from Tracy and the tiny words. Let's see what we can get. See if we can find something. How about that? Simply Be. Simply Be. Now you don't have to put a little label on there, but it just led itself to that one the other day. But let's lent itself, I should say, not let itself. Let's see if that would work. I like that. So now we will start to layer it up, and so I just put a little, because this is some fabric, just a little bit of fabric glue there, and if you smear it around a bit it doesn't bleed through the material as much. So we'll have that hanging off a little bit. Yeah, so you don't, it's not bleeding through. So we've got that. I could use this again for the little piece of music. That'll come out there. Now a row across there with the lace. And just to get rid of that white around the edges. Actually, I might pop this one up here, then we can see some of the scalloped lace. Whoop. Like that. And then, just because we're doing the bee book, I'll use these as a little bit of the bling. And there we have it. And that was as quick and easy. So there they are. Very easy, just little collage tags. The back is, on this one I put the music. I'm not going to on this one because you can actually journal on there if you want to put a little something on there. So there's those. So we did those. Clear the decks. We did our little, and these were the ones that I had done, and that's the one I did, so that's what I did, that's what we did to that there. And then these little ones are done, and that's the one we did today. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thumbs up if you did. Like, give me a little bit of a comment, would be lovely. Share if you want to, it would be great. And I shall see you again on the next video, and we'll do a little bit of popping together some of the pieces out of the kit. So some of the little pieces that come already done, we'll get and make a few of those up. So thank you for watching. Happy crafting. We'll see you next time. Bye.